Hi Facebook, I'm Ellie Frost, and this is a video about authentic selling because I work with a lot of authentic personal brands, leaders, personalities, entrepreneurs, leaders, and they're all trying to, or they are creating businesses around a really authentic personal brand. So I'm not talking about people who want to trick people. I'm talking about the struggles that they have, right? Because they want to sell in integrity. And it's a conversation I have pretty much every day. I've had it about 3 times today about how do I sell authentically and how do we combine strategy and stay in integrity with that. And I also know for a lot of like spiritual entrepreneurs, it's a thing, isn't it? Like there's been this old paradigm, old thinking that it's not spiritual to sell. And so there's lots of thinking that comes from a lot of the people that I work with that we have to kind of like overcome and figure out like how can we get that big impact and influence in the world and sell in a way that feels good and is in integrity and is authentic. So I just wrote a blog post, you might see it underneath, giving kind of 10 sort of tips on how to do that. But I wanted to run through them because it's such a like big topic, and it's one that just literally comes up daily for my clients, like, you know, wanting to stay in integrity, wanting to stay in authenticity, and obviously build and grow their businesses and brands. So the first thing that I'd say is you should always and only create offers that you really believe in and know are going to serve the people that it's meant for, right? They're, you know, when you get really excited and passionate about something, you don't even need to be that confident, right? Because you just know, you just so, I always say, like, you know, courage and kind of passion overrides the need for confidence, because when you are selling something that you truly believe in and it's a good value and it fits the market and you're kind of hyped to get it out there, it's really exciting. So the first thing is make sure you're always in integrity with your offers. Make sure you really believe in them. Make sure it's coming from the right place, and I'm going to talk more about that. If it's not in integrity, it's unlikely to be sustainable for yourself or your audience, and also you're not likely to be that passionate about it. So that's really important. When you've got like a really strong mission, so everyone I work with, they're here to make change, disrupt things, make positive impact, like empower people. You know, it's always going to be about that kind of thing. And so when you've got that higher purpose, and by the way, if you want to step into more purpose, PM me about my course, because I'm going to reopen Move Deeper into Purpose, which is really epic. But anyway, that's an aside. So when you are really aligned with a mission or a purpose, right, it becomes about much more about that than anything else. And you really want to get your offers out there. You really want to get them in people's hands. You really want to make change through them. So it's really important to know that. Know your why. Know why you're doing this. What change you're trying to create in the world. What, when you're that passionate about a mission, then, and you really believe in it, and you really know it's what the market needs, then that really aligns you as well with authentic selling. Sales become about serving people and giving them what they need, right? And then I've put like authentic selling comes from creating offers that are generated from asking the question of how to make a significant difference in the lives of your prospects and customers. So that's the place to start from, because if you're selling from scarcity, so a feeling of lack, a fear-based kind of position where you're thinking, I need money, what shall I sell, I need money, right? And that's your primary focus, not why you're doing it or who you're here to impact and help and change, then you're likely to kind of take that energy into your offers in the way that you're selling. And you might fear people into buying things in a way that doesn't feel authentic to you, and that kind of scarcity will create that kind of scarcity in them too. So the way to stay in alignment is to kind of inspire people to buy from you. You want to get them in like, have you ever bought something and afterwards you felt like you've been kind of manipulated into it, or you just felt shit about it, right? You never want someone to feel that way with you, and neither do you want to have to persuade them. But I'll get on to that as well. You want to feel like they're buying from inspiration, that you've empowered and inspired them through that offer, and that's why they're coming in, and it feels good, it feels exciting. When I work with my clients, we're like emailing constantly, like, we can't wait to get started. Like, it's an inspiring thing, right? And that's how all offers should feel when you're selling from authenticity. It should be a really natural, normal exchange that feels empowering for everyone. So, a good question to ask is, how can I sell in a way that people will buy from inspiration, not fear, right? So they're not buying from a fear-based base, they're buying because they're inspired by what you offer. Demonstrating that you understand them, you understand their pains, their struggles, their desires, their aspirations, is really, really important, right? So that's not selling through fear, that's selling through understanding, and that's you demonstrating that you get the problem, because fundamentally you're here to solve a problem for them. So, you know, it's all about demonstrating that you understand that problem and that you can solve it. And so it's really important to do that and to empower your customer, right? They're empowered to make a choice. You're providing an opportunity to them, and it should feel like that. And if it doesn't feel like that, check if you've got any kind of blocks around selling, or I hate there are blocks, but limited ideas. If you get, you know, work through any limited ideas and beliefs you might have, but if it doesn't feel like that, check the offer is aligned. Check you're selling something you really believe in. Check you believe the market needs it. Check you feel that it's at the right price point. Really check in with yourself on it. People do need momentum to buy, right? So to create buzz, you want to create buzz and excitement. And that's why, you know, as long as you stay in integrity, if it's a special offer, if it's a limited time, that's cool. That empowers people because they know how long they've got to make a decision. So stay open with all of that. And you want to create momentum and buzz and excitement. And it should feel normal and natural to do that if you believe in your offers and you made sure there's no limiting kind of beliefs going on. It's so important. You know, you can't get out of alignment if you manage your brand with integrity and you sell in alignment with your values. So if you're an accessible brand for the masses, make sure they suit that market. If you're a premium brand and then it needs to feel really special and like aspirational, make sure your offer aligns with that market, right? That's about being in integrity with your values and being relevant to your audience, right? So all the time, it's like going back to what your key values are and making sure your sales process, funnels, how you run it, how you work it, fits in with those values. That way, you're not ever going to feel like you're pushing or manipulating or anything like that, right? It all feels value-based. It all fits into the main kind of brand or the main proposition or what you really stand for. It all feels like the right expression of you. It all feels natural and normal, right? It all feels just like a natural continuum of a conversation rather than, I mean, you can use like sales scripts and stuff, but there's nothing like connection. There's nothing like deeply resonating with your audience. There's nothing like showing you really understand where they are and you really can take them to where they want to be. That's the most powerful way to do it. I always say, and I had this conversation this morning actually, because I used to give talks on it, that you can gain credibility in an instant. And what a lot of, especially personal brands or leaders, sometimes don't understand is credibility comes from a deep resonance with someone. As soon as you say something that deeply resonates with someone that you could only know if you really knew your stuff, you've achieved credibility, right? But people often make the mistake of disconnecting with people because they go on so much about their credentials, and those things can be relevant, but only in relation to how it resonates and connects with the person you're talking to. So it's not, you know, people think that their experience and credentials is the most important thing, and they underestimate how important it is to connect, stay present, and deeply resonate with the person in front of you or the people in front of you. And that's what creates connection, and that's what leads to more sales, right? So people really aren't as interested in your credentials as they are as to how much you can speak to them, speak to their soul, speak to what's in their heart, speak to what's important to them. And you can't do that without having a knowledge in your field, without really getting it. But people often disconnect because they get sidetracked and think they have to speak from a kind of bio or something when they're dealing with people. But the problem is you're not present in that moment, so you want to stay in flow and you want to stay relevant to the people you're talking to. It's always about solving a problem that your customer has when you're selling. Sometimes it's a problem they don't know they have, or sometimes the problem is an aspiration. It's something that they want to achieve or aspire to, right? And the aspirational part is so essential to bring into any kind of sales process, because you're always leading them to an idea of what life could look like, or, you know, what this product, service, whatever it is, could mean to them. So that's personal, and you need to bespoke it to them. You know, just a blanket script of like, oh, this does this for people, doesn't really work as well. So it's about how can you bespoke this to them, understand that you understand their needs, understand their aspirations, and demonstrate how your offer, you know, deals with that. That's really, really important. And, you know, it's a fair and natural energy exchange, actually selling. When you do it in integrity and from authenticity, it doesn't feel off. It just feels natural and normal to sell. If you've got good stuff to sell, people want to buy it, right? So it's your job to get it out there and be aligned with the pricing, be aligned with the right offerings and the way you want to sell it. You're always presenting opportunities and looking to meet your audience where they are and then taking them into an aspirational place where you're demonstrating through your story, skills, experience, whatever, that you can take them there and demonstrating your unique gifts, your values, and your particular way of doing that. You know, for personal brands, being transparent and staying in communication really works well because people want a real relationship with you. You're building real relationships. Sales is not about a quick sale. It's about building like real relationships. Some of my clients have worked with me for years on and off, sometimes consistently, sometimes on and off, because I build real relationships. They're lasting, they're sustainable. It's never been about a quick win. I'm in it for the long term. I'm in it for those relationships. And that's what works really well, especially with personal brands. So it's really, really important to remember and not get your fears in the way of thinking, oh, I've got to make money now, so what shall I do? But how can I add massive value? How can I make a significant difference in the lives of the people I'm here to serve? Stay with that question because the answers that come to you are different, and stay in that energy because the way you'll show up around it is different, right? So it's really important when you're preparing, whether it's like marketing materials or show reels or presentations or talks, to really remind people of why you're doing what you're doing. That's the bit they want to connect on. They want to understand that, you see. People really do buy into people. And, you know, why would they buy your offer over someone else's? Because I bet there's like, you know, there's often like similar functions. You know, lots of products and services have similar functions, but why would they buy into you? Well, because of your unique style, your unique gifts, your unique approach to life. So that's really, really crucial, right? To demonstrate that and own it. People are often really, especially service providers, when I work with entrepreneurs, they're often really kind of hesitant to kind of confess what their true gifts are because they may hide behind their credentials or what they think is professional, but actually it's your approach. Like, you know, I know for me, when I work with my clients, it's a fun experience. We laugh, we joke, we do serious fucking shit, but we also have a really good time, you know. And I know that that's, I mean, that, not, you know, obviously I've got the skills and experience and they get really good fucking results, but it's also about like, it's an enjoyable experience, you know, and it's important to me that, you know, that's a value of mine. It has to be fun. So think about that because that's really like what makes you unique. Think about beyond your, you know, your technical skills. Think about what you bring to an experience that other people don't, because especially for service providers, leaders, personalities, innovators, entrepreneurs, people are looking for an experience with you. So really understand what you bring to that experience that's different, and don't be afraid to talk about that. People want to know, they want a real relationship with you, especially if you're working one-on-one with people or in a personal way through a personal brand. They want to know about you. They want to feel a connection with you. It's so important to be in relationship with them and get out of this scarcity idea of a quick win. But the other thing that a lot of especially new entrepreneurs and leaders don't do enough is they don't let people know about their offers enough. And, you know, like online and stuff, you do have to keep kind of mentioning it. It's not to force that. I think it's about, first of all, getting in the energy and tuning into that excitement of it. Really, if you know it's going to change people's lives, or it's going to make a positive impact, or it's going to do something aspirational, right? Stay in that energy and then act from that place, because people often hold back at the beginning on actually communicating about it enough. And it's really important to communicate what your offers are and consistently and on repeat, because a lot of people won't see it, you see. So you're not, you know, I think that you can do that in such an authentic way that is not salesy, but is sharing like your values, what you believe in, why you're doing this, what's important about it, what change you want to create, and giving them an opportunity to participate in that. So that's what I wanted to make a video on, because it's a daily conversation I have. And if you struggle with that, just know that pretty much everyone does, even like really, really big successful people do, you know, because it's always like, you know, wanting to expand and grow and stay in connection with your audience. But I think that a lot of people have an issue with this area in terms of not knowing how to make it natural, easy and fun, a natural part of what they do, and not a separate part. This is my sales part and this is my natural part, but actually you can integrate the whole lot and it can feel really easy, natural and fun. On that note, I'm going to relaunch my course soon. So if you're interested in it, contact me. It only is a small bespoke group, but it's all about moving deeper into your sense of purpose. So it's aligning you with your soul work, with your purpose work in the world, getting clear on your messaging, and then getting really strategic about what's going to work for you, how you can implement it in the world, right? Once you're integrated with it and crystal clear on how to communicate it and get it out there. And it goes on for about 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the group. So if you're interested, let me know, because it's a super powerful course. It's super reasonable to be part of it, but it's all about getting the right people together on that one, because you've got to be at the same sort of stage of your journey. But basically, it's normally for people in transition, because most of the work I do will be people in transition, taking them into growth. So this is for people often who have either just left corporate jobs or are wanting to change course in their business or at a sort of turning point. So let me know if you want to know more about that, and have a great day. I'll speak to you soon.